Guys, and welcome to a new GTK tutorial. Today we are going to move on with our properties and the way how we handle those properties, which are very important for us to understand them and to know which kind of other things we can apply on them and how we can set more information or retrieve more information. And the retrieve part is the thing which we are going to talk today. Today we are going to talk how we can set a property to its default value. Basically, it is somehow like we are going to learn how we can reset the property to its default value. For this, we are going a little bit back to our documentation, which is right here, and of the GTK button. And I'm going to click on properties. I'm going to choose the relief now, and as you can see, says the GTK the relief property, which is the border style relief style. It has its default value set to GTK relief normal. What this means, we already talked, but we are going to talk again. So I'm going to set I'm going to show you something here. Let me put this thing right here, relief. Okay, so I just commented the object set function. I'm going to compile it and run it, and as you can see now, the button is here. You can see it, you can see its shape and form and so on. This means its relief, it's set to its default value, which is the normal one. And now I'm going to call the GObjectSet function on the button with the property name, which is the relief in this case, and we are going to set the GTK relief none. I'm going to compile it and run it, and as you can see, the button is gone. It's not there. Of course it's there, because if I'm over it now, you see, if I put my mouse pointer over it, then it reveals itself and it looks like it is here. Now it's gone. So basically this is how you set or you change a property of an object, like in this case the relief property to our button, by setting the relief none value. Now I'm going to show you how you can reset it. For this, there is a function which is called GParametSpec get default value, and says gets the default value of the parameter spec as a pointer to a G value. The G value will remain valid for the life of the parameter spec specification. So basically, what do we need? What do we need here? We need to create a G value pointer and then point it to this function. So I'm going to copy this part right here, copy, and I'm going to throw it up here, and I'm going to call it value. Now we can call it value, and we are going to point it to GParametSpec get default value, which takes one parameter, which is the parameter spec. So basically we're going to pass it also right here. Now at this point we have the value. Now inside of this variable, it is the default value which was created during the creation of the button. How we can set it? Well, for this it is time for us to work with a new function, GObjectSet property. Until now you were used only with GObjectSet. Now we are going to use GObjectSet property. What does this function says? Sets a property on an object, and as you can see, the difference between the GObjectSet, let me call it for you, just to be sure and to be clear about the difference. You see, the GObjectSet, as you already know, it says it takes the object, it takes the property, name, and of course takes the value, and if you have more properties and value, you pass them right here, and then you inform the object set function by passing null as its last argument, so that it knows that you are done with the function. In case of the GObject set property, it says sets a property of on an object. The first argument, it is of course the same like here, it is the object itself. The second is the property name, the same like also here, but with the different, because here was the first property, but if you use only one, then it is the same like here. And the last one here, as you can see, we have this time a G value and not the value. So basically, when you call this function, I'm going to do it right now. It says the first one is the object, so in our case the button. The second is a property name, so basically we're going to pass the same thing which we did here, the property name, which is the relief. And the last one, this time we are going to pass the value. What exactly happens now here? We are setting the property of the button, which is called relief, to its default value, which we retrieve it through the gparams gets default value. So basically we are going to reset this value. How the program flow works, it is simple. We were setting here a new value for relief, which is relief none, and then after we set it, we retrieve the default value which was used by the GTK button implementation, and we are going to add it to our property. So basically it should not be GTK relief none anymore, it should be GTK relief normal. Now we have a problem, it says passing the one way, okay, because it needs a GObject, as you already noticed here. So I'm going to change it as well. GObject, oh, not like this, GObject. So we need to cast it to GObject, and now it's through compile file and run as well. And yes, as you can see, now the button looks back again in the way how it was before, and it is now different from what we had before. So if I'm comment now this call right here, basically I need to silence the compiler, void value, just for a second. Now you will see that that value was before set to none. You see, it is none and works fine. And this is the way how you set or reset label. For example, if you have some margin or whatever, which property use some default values, this is the way how you set it. You don't need to care what kind of value you need to pass here to set property, because the value which you set it here, it is the value which is retrieved from this function and put it inside here. One thing is it is important for you to remember that the G value can hold any kind of type. So this means at this point it will be this value, it will be created for you, and it will be retrieved in the format and type which belongs to this property, in this case the relief one. Okay, so that being said, I think it's enough. Until next video, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.